Regret is the anchor that holds you in the harbor while the war is being fought at sea. It is a self-imposed exile, a voluntary prison where you are both the inmate and the guard. You replay your failures, your mistakes, your moments of weakness, believing this ritual of self-flagellation has some kind of value. It does not. It is an indulgence, an emotional poison you drink, expecting your past to change. The warrior cannot afford this indulgence. His entire existence is predicated on forward momentum, on the next action, the next decision, the next battle. This is not a modern idea. This is ancient, ruthless wisdom. Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated swordsman who fought over 60 duels, codified his life's philosophy into 21 precepts. He called it the Dokkōdō, the path of walking alone. It was written in the last weeks of his life. It is not a guide for a comfortable existence. It is a set of operational commands for a life of power and purpose. And one of its most unforgiving laws is this: do not regret what you have done. We will dissect this law, not for academic understanding, but for application. You endlessly replay a failed business deal in your head, the negotiation you lost, the investment that soured, the client you could not close. You waste hours, days, weeks, chained to a moment that is gone. The energy you expend in this mental loop is the very energy required to find the next deal, to build the next venture, to win the next negotiation. You are fighting a ghost in your mind while a real war for your future rages on without you. Musashi's rule is absolute. Do not regret what you have done. This is not a suggestion, it is a command. For a warrior like Musashi, a duel was a finality. Once a sword stroke was delivered, it could not be taken back. To stand in the aftermath and regret the angle of the cut or the timing of the parry was to be killed by your opponent's next move. The past action, whether successful or a failure, is simply data. Nothing more. It is information to be processed with cold, brutal efficiency. Regret is a strategic flaw. It is a moment of hesitation that a true adversary will exploit to end you. The mind must be clear, focused entirely on the present reality and the immediate future. The takeaway is this: that failed deal is a closed file. Your analysis of it must be as swift and dispassionate as a swordsman assessing a missed strike. What was the tactical error? What was the strategic miscalculation? Extract the lesson, integrate it, then discard the emotional baggage. It is dead weight. Your focus, your will, your entire being must be aimed at the next engagement. The past is a training ground, not a retirement home. You find yourself unable to commit to a new relationship. You are haunted by the mistakes of a previous one, the trust you broke or the trust that was broken, the words you said or failed to say. Every new interaction is filtered through the lens of that past failure. You project the ghosts of yesterday onto the person of today. You sabotage the present because you are still serving a sentence for a crime committed in the past. The principle does not change. Do not regret what you have done. For the samurai, commitments and allegiances were absolute. A decision once made was executed with total focus. To be distracted by a past failure of loyalty or a past emotional wound would be to compromise your current duty. It would endanger your lord, your clan, and your own life. The past is a battlefield where the fighting is over. The dead are buried. To carry its corpses and its ghosts onto the next field of battle is to guarantee you will lose. You will be fighting two wars at once, one against your present opponent and one against yourself. You will be defeated. Your focus must be singular. Reinforce this in your mind. Your past relationship is a source of intelligence. It is not your identity. Analyze the failure for patterns. Did you show weakness, a lack of discipline, poor judgment? Identify the vulnerability. Correct the flaw in your own code. Then you move on. To allow the memory of past failure to poison a present opportunity is an act of supreme weakness. It is a declaration that you are ruled by your past, not by your will. This is not easy. It is the discipline of the warrior. You obsess over a past career mistake, an error that cost your company money, a project that failed under your leadership. Now you are timid, you are indecisive. The fear of repeating that one mistake has become a cage that prevents you from taking any decisive action at all. You have traded the possibility of victory for the certainty of mediocrity. You avoid risk, and in doing so, you have forfeited all chance of significant reward. The law remains the same. It is unyielding. Do not regret what you have done. Musashi won over 60 duels not by being perfect, but by being brutally adaptable. A mistake in a duel, a misjudged distance, a poorly angled cut, was not an occasion for regret. It was an immediate, life-threatening lesson. That lesson had to be absorbed and integrated in a fraction of a second. To pause and regret the error was to die. Instead, the mistake informed the very next movement. A failed block becomes an opening for a counterthrust. A vulnerability, once exposed, becomes a point to be defended with absolute ferocity. The mistake is a tool for immediate, ruthless correction, not a justification for future paralysis. Here is your final takeaway. That career mistake was a tuition payment for a critical lesson in your own development. You have paid the price. Now you must claim the knowledge you paid for. To allow that mistake to make you timid is to have paid for nothing. It is to have suffered the wound without learning the lesson. A warrior does not become timid after being struck. He becomes more aware. He uses the pain as a focusing agent. Use the knowledge of your past failure to act with greater precision, with more devastating intent. Do not let it force you to stop acting altogether. Regret is a choice. It is the voluntary surrender of your power to a past that cannot be changed. Musashi's law of no regrets is not a denial of your mistakes. It is a refusal to be imprisoned by them. It is the ruthless command to absorb the lesson, discard the emotion, and maintain forward momentum at all costs. The past is ash. The present is the forge. The future is the weapon you are creating. What past regret will you release today? Decide, execute, move forward. If this discipline resonates with you, subscribe. We do not offer comfort here, we forge will. The next lesson is on your screen now. Do not hesitate.